So, AEW has arrived. It's going to arrive once again this next Wednesday, and big shit is happening within regard to the world of professional wrestling. And, you know, the whole of how not only storylines are told, not only the way it's performed, the venues, the new promotions. There's so many different promotions that actually have a lot of precedent and you can get to in one way or another. That aren't like, they're not inaccessible. Like, free services or very cheap services do offer a lot of different programs to be a part of that. And there's a lot of different ones in regards to those different promotions and those different, you know, where they are in terms of either success, either in terms of their brand, either in terms of their roster. Anything like that is typically, it can be found. So, and Hell in a Cell concluded with one of the most retarded endings to any professional match. Because, for example, like, picture, if you will, you had a mathematical equation, and it states, for this property to be true, there can be no X's, right? Then you look at the match, all there fucking is X's everywhere. So then, you look at Hell in a Cell, and you realize, holy shit, there is a match that has no disqualification stipulations applied to it, so as in, it cannot end, they cannot stop it. There's no way for them to actually say, referee stoppage. Like, if it's no disqualifications, it's never stopped. It can never just be suddenly, oh, it's over. So think about that. Because for a fucking Hell in a Cell match, they stopped it. And it was disqualified. And you've got to think, oh, well, one person gets, dropped on their head 11 times with a kick, and then the other guy also gets beat down with a weapon, but suddenly, you hit him in the head with a sledgehammer, and you're the main babyface, you're disqualified, and you get heat for that. You're hateable, you're deplorable, you suck shit. And this happens, and it just happens. Raw's about to go on, so they're going to talk about it, but it's shit. It's complete shit. It makes no sense. It makes no sense in comparison to any normal storyline. That's like WCW level of booking, where you can just do weird shit. And at the same time, you know, AEW's only had 1 week of television so far. So I think we need to see the first about 20 episodes of AEW Dynamite to really get an idea for where they're going to go and continue them. Because although it was good, it was legitimately good, it wasn't necessarily perfect or, you know, without some level of botching, but it was still pretty decent. And NXT is doing pretty good. ROH is okay. Any of the other promotions are doing fine. I know I've only seen New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-views because of Access TV. So I usually see about the same 4 to 5 people for each couple months, because it's all the main events and like side main events. So guess I can't argue with them. I didn't really watch the G1 Climax to full completion, but it was okay. I know Kota Ibushi won that. But yeah, otherwise, I would argue that professional wrestling has become so much better in the modern day. Like, if you want to look at any other time if you're a wrestling fan, because you do have to imagine that the internet plays a big part of how much of an effect in a culture there is. Because originally it started with WWF. That really is what brought wrestling into pop culture. But then twice. So it really did have two eras of mainstay pop culture. You know, maybe the PG era could have been the third, but it didn't stick its impact, at least. So, you know, otherwise, you had to be in some way or another a WWF fan to start, because it would be harder to start as a WCW fan rather than eventually start watching WCW in whatever period there is. But either way, they had the main culture, because otherwise you'd have to be in the territories. You'd have to see live wrestling that before made a lot of money here and there, but not as much as McMahon ever did, especially after creating Raw and being able to do weekly shows every single week and then a pay-per-view. But, you know, otherwise, well, damn, just crashed right there. But, you know, otherwise I just mean, with the way modern shows are given to us, they're much more accessible, they're much more reachable, and they're much more decent too. So, overall, it's a really good time to be a wrestling fan if you are. Or it's a really good time to get into it, because there is a new renaissance because of AEW rather way. And because there are legitimately new fans entering the fray, being able to see it. So, my idea for AEW, I'm excited. At the same time, I really want to see what it will ultimately be, but otherwise, pretty decent so far.